I am running for the United States Senate to help set a new course for our state and our nation by leading toward a vision of the possible, a vision that fulfills the great promise of our ideals, the promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all people. Such a future is within our reach today, even as challenges mount upon our doorstep. I am a Mainer, and I've been blessed to live here nearly my entire life. Claire and I have chosen to make Maine and Springville our home to raise our children. Our roots in Maine go deep, with personal history and relatives anchored around our state. From the bottom of my heart, I love our great state and her amazing people. I am an uncommon candidate. I have not journeyed to this podium today through the usual paths. While I have not climbed a political ladder, I have climbed a ladder of service. I'm a family man, a husband, a father, and an educator with 25 years of experience in the trenches as an administrator, a teacher, a coach, and a wilderness guide. I'm a worker, a thinker, and a leader who will rock the boat for the common good. My leadership experience is extensive and has been built upon clear vision that always sees great possibilities. Relentless commitment to pursue that vision. Collaboration that calls upon the genius of all stakeholders. Innovation to overcome obstacles. And common sense to focus my work where it will make the most difference. All of these qualities have been essential in my life, and they have been the foundation of my 2 decades of work in Maine for educational reform. Across the many varied demands of every day as an educator, I have never lost sight of my vision and my responsibilities. At Noble High School, I challenged inequity and worked to help develop our school into a nationally recognized progressive model for its vision to serve all students well with innovation and substantive results. In my work across the years and working with students, from paddling the Allagash to processing through the Federalist Papers, I have continually inspired them to reach for their own greatness. Across my career, I have led teams of leaders. Together, we have successfully worked through complex issues, from stewarding our communities through tragedy to working with large budget cuts. We all know that change in the world begins with each individual. I lead people to envision the future that they want for themselves and then to always move in that direction. In my most important role as a proud husband and father, Claire and I guide our family in the ways of love, teamwork, respect, and compassion. I know that we live in one of the very best places in the world, and I know that our children hold within them all of the wonder and the power of the human race. I know, and I have seen countless times, that we are all more than what we know. Our future should be bright. And yet, while our country has much to be proud of, as is apparent here today, things have been tough. It is clear that we are off course. Things have been extremely difficult for many and even harsh for some. We seem a little lost as a people. Poverty of means and poverty of thought is apparent across our society. Even those who are comfortable are hungry for something. We all hunger for a better country, a better vision of what will be. In 2008, in the wealthiest country in the world, the legacy that we are leaving our children is unacceptable. An unchecked imperial presidency, global warming, unfair trade, overdependence on fossil fuels, inadequate educational opportunity, 100 million Americans living in or on the edge of poverty, 47 million without health care insurance, and an endless war. Washington is failing us. Our nation's moral compass has become clouded. Too often, the problems that we face are accepted as necessary, just the way things are, or too expensive to fix. If we here today had the chance, how could we possibly justify these realities and these attitudes to our founding fathers and their families? We could not. The realities of the struggles that we face do not reflect the promise of our great country, nor are they burdens that we must bear. We are limited in solving our challenges only by our lack of political will. We must create the future that we intend, rather than stumble into the misdirected consequences of yesterday. We must set a new course for Maine and the nation. To this end, we must renew our vision of what is possible. And we must ask ourselves here today, across the state and across our great country, what kind of a country do we want to be? And then we must commit ourselves to that vision that best protects the promise of our country for all people. But we must also take heart, for the answers to our challenges are already within us, as I have clearly heard in talking with so many of you across the state these past months. We can't recommit to the promise of America and decide together that we want to be a nation that holds the common good of its people as its first priority. And together, consider this. On a journey of 1,000 miles, if we change course just 3 degrees, barely perceptible at first, then at the end of that 1,000-mile journey, we will have changed our destination by a full 52 miles. New ways of doing things can have exponential results. Imagine if we redirected just 2.5% of all military spending, approximately $25 billion per year, to create zero-interest loans and block grants for our communities across the country to become more energy efficient. And to purchase some of their own clean energy generational capacity through solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower. We could jumpstart a national commitment to lead the green revolution opportunity that is before us. We would create hundreds of thousands of new jobs, and ultimately, we would make ourselves more secure in our homes. Imagine if every student who wanted to could afford to go to college or other post-secondary training because of a national service-to-school program that guaranteed 2 years of in-state tuition for every year of service. Made possible by collective will, innovation, and bold leadership, will change our future. But some will ask, can we afford to invest in our people? Can we afford to strengthen our communities? I say we cannot afford our current course. We must remember that fiscal discipline requires social justice. They are partners in the same equation for national and economic strength. Investing in our people and strengthening our communities is ultimately the best business plan for Maine and the nation. The most ethical decisions, those that best support our common humanity, are also the most profitable investments for society.